Okay, so it seems that we have a little bit of an update on the whole Jelly Hoshiyumi situation, where essentially there was a whole situation going on with Minecraft and a tweet that she made, or a couple of tweets that she made about it. And it seems that we have a development as the tweets have now been deleted. Now, if you don't know, obviously, yesterday we covered this. Essentially, Jelly Hoshiyumi was responding to, some stuff going on. Said, screw it, man. I think pushing politics in my children's sandbox game is disgusting, especially whenever it's disguised as education. Let me play my stupid block game without having to engage or associate with any of your stupid political garbage that I literally do not care about. And obviously, this was in response to the recent Minecraft DLC, which came out, called Good Trouble DLC, where, yeah, they obviously go through a lot of civil rights movements with a lot of civil rights activists and stuff. And yeah, to me, I found it a little bit jarring to have it in the game, right? I don't think it is necessarily a terrible thing, whatever. And I think the main point about this is the fact that, this is optional, right? This doesn't have to be downloaded. This is literally in the marketplace if you want to download it. And I think that is the major point there, which I think a lot of people were kind of getting at, especially in the last video that we made about this. But again, as I said, it is pretty jarring, right? Because imagine, with any other game, I think Minecraft maybe might be the closest one to being, I guess, somewhat acceptable. But imagine, as I said, like going into Fortnite and you see Rosa Parks, like, hitting a sniper shot on someone. Like, again, it's going to be pretty crazy. But I think, yeah, obviously that's the only reason why it is jarring to me, because it's just weird to see, civil rights people within a game. Not that it's necessarily super wrong or whatever. It's just weird, right? I think a lot of people can agree that it just look weird. I don't know what it is about it, right? But again, Jelly then ended up deleting this tweet afterwards, and a lot of people have been commenting about this and exactly what has been going on, as well as some of the issues of the actual original Minecraft DLC as well, and what could actually really happen, including down here, right? This person, Hayazame Haru, posting them essentially trying out the mode themselves. And they're saying, this is how bad, it can get, right? You can see they're like in like a area, of the map or whatever. And, they're saying, oh, talk to Malala, which obviously is a civil rights activist. And then they just go ahead and they place TNT around the entire kind of school area, whatever it's called. I don't know exactly what this area is, but again, she goes ahead and just places a ton of TNT. And I'm assuming just blows it all up, right? And that's the kind of stuff that you're allowed to do. You're able to do within the game, including stuff like this, right? This is Nelson Mandela. They put him in the boat, and this.
I know I did the terrible.
Right, and this is just showcasing the kind of bad stuff that you could do within the game still while doing this. And this is why I think that it's not a very good idea to really add this to the game, because you're going to be able to do things like that, or maybe at least make it a little bit polished so people are unable to do this. But again, they were pretty lazy with it, and now you've got people going around doing this kind of stuff, which I think is pretty crazy, right? And obviously they're just trying to prove a point that, hey, anybody can go into a world and do this kind of stuff, which obviously I guess would be the opposite of what really Minecraft and a lot of people are hoping for with this map, right? And a lot of people have been responding to stuff to do with this, right? Saying, and that's, folks, why you don't apologize to the mob. Obviously, a lot of people saying, spend the day reflecting and talking with my friends in my community. I decided to write this to clarify and apologize for my post. To be clear, I respect the civil rights movement, and I'm not dismissing or denying its importance to America. I honestly didn't even know this was the context of the DLC before replying. That's on me. I am worn out with this constant pressure of political discourse online. So yeah, I know this will not fully address concerns, but I want everyone to know, that I do not fully support harming, erasing, or threatening anyone's rights. Thank you to everyone who reached out to talk to me. I appreciate the chance to listen and learn. Y'all are the best. But yeah, this is obviously coming from an artist who does a lot of kind of FaZe Connect stuff. And while people have been going after FaZe Connect, especially with the Jelly stuff too, essentially saying you really have to start looking into what culture most FaZe Connect allows, or at worst fosters. FaZe was built up by Pippa since the Hogwarts game controversy by appealing to far-right people. Most of FaZe EN's talents tolerate or embrace them as well. They say it's FaZe's original sin IMO. They've been dragging because it's what has allowed the company to grow for a while. All the other while all the other small corporates have died off, they ought to have cut them off a long time ago, but they won't because that's their niche. That's their demographic. So essentially what they're saying is Pippa playing Hogwarts Legacy was their original sin, which I think is something completely crazy to say, right? A lot of people, unhappy at the artist as well, saying seeing him get shut on by the mob is entertaining. They're saying it's FaZe's original sin. These people need a religion. Say Exhibit B, they said you forgot to delete this, which said RP lured. Hopefully management doesn't make Jelly bow. Which again, we know the kind of outcome of that. It seems like they did delete it. Now, obviously, we can go into exactly, what has gone on with Jelly and why this has actually disappeared and why this is no longer on her account. And I do think this is due to some FaZe Connect intervention, right? They've probably gone, hey, this probably doesn't look good for any of us. This has caused a lot of controversy. Let's just delete the post and just move on, right? Because again, you could have an opinion on whether you think this post was fine or not. But I think, at the end of the day, I think FaZe Connect just want to protect their brand, I guess, and protect a lot of their other talent. Because, of course, this could also have repercussions on some of their other talent too. Like, you could agree with what Jelly is saying, right? But I think it does obviously bring a lot of, I guess, hate towards other people, regardless of whether you think it's right or not, because there is going to be people that think it's not right that are going to go and attack and going to not only attack Jelly, but attack other FaZe Connect members, which obviously wouldn't be good and would be bad for the entire company, right? And obviously a lot of people are saying, I knew this would happen. Delete posts, they instantly pounce, imply it wasn't enough. They do the we won thing, and then they say they still think Jelly and FaZe are racist. Even everyone knew this would happen. The fact that FaZe management didn't give an inch and they'll take a mile, which obviously, a lot of people, like Binted here, obviously, we all know Binted, one of the dumbest people I think I've ever seen on Twitter. They say, big week for entertainers named Jelly to claim they're apolitical while making political views known in the process. And then they're saying Jelly deleted the tweet, Jelly deleted the tweet, then deleted the tweet where she said she was rage baiting. Seems like this didn't actually fly. Replies still up where she said that she didn't know who Nelson Mandela or Gandhi was. Which, I mean, a lot of people saying, all I want for these people is to stop bullshitting their wussy ass excuses and the no politics in gaming. Brother, just admit you hate people of color, which again, I don't think that's the case, right? I think you can, dislike politics or whatever being pushed in video games and not be racist. I think that is a pretty easy kind of distinction that a lot of people can make, right? And of course, some people have ulterior motives whenever it comes to that. But I think it is very, very plausible that someone could be like, hey, I don't want politics in my game, without saying, oh, you're a disgusting racist or whatever, just because they don't want politics in their game, right? But again, as I said, at the end of the day, with the Minecraft post, it is an optional DLC, which I think was the stupid part about it, because I could understand it if it was being pushed within the game, in the main game, and like you had no choice, it was there, and you had to interact with Nelson Mandela on a random small kind of mission in Minecraft or something. Obviously that would be very, very odd. But you got to remember, this is a DLC, probably designed to educate, right? And they do have an education version. I don't know if they've included it in that, but so far it's included in just a normal version of Bedrock Minecraft. So again, it is optional. It isn't something that you have to download, which is why I don't really have a problem with it, right? It's just one of these things where it's like, it's jarring to see that they're featured in Minecraft, but also I don't have a problem with it being there because it's optional. People can play it if they want, and we've already kind of talked about the bad things to do with it, like why it's a bad idea to really do it in the first place, and what people can do within the world, which looks really bad. But that's kind of a different topic, right? That's not even talking about like whether it should be there or not. It's talking about like what should be in the map and how they've actually gone about doing it, which I think is pretty crazy. Obviously, a lot of people say another retard talking out of his ass, as if FaZe Connect have not been growing for 1.5 years before the alphabet soup people started screeching over someone playing a shitty Harry Potter game, because stars like him somehow managed to turn playing a shitty game into some sort of political movement, as if FaZe wasn't made up of different communities full of people from many parts of the world that came under each talent to help FaZe become what is now the biggest Western agency. It's a good thing that the people running the company doesn't listen to the idiots like this with 30 mental illnesses, cry about original sin for playing a game, people who think you should dump an entire audience because they don't buy into that identity politics. Bullshit. They say another poor individual who got mentally R-worded by a VTuber playing a stupid game 3 years ago. I couldn't get over the fact that the rest of the world outside of his little bubble also rejected the stuff that he's trying to peddle, which again, I do think is true. I think, you know, obviously at the end of the day, I've made you know, a lot of comments about the Hogwarts Legacy stuff, especially with like Coronet and things. It's totally fine. I don't see any problem with anybody playing it, including VTubers, but of course some people want to turn it into like this big evil action that someone's taken at the end of the day because of you know what J.K. Rowling has said and things like that. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean you endorse it or whatever. Of course, yeah, sure, she maybe gets a cut out of it, but I'm gonna be real, she's probably loaded anyways. And obviously Harry Potter is a good series, like regardless of who the creator is. The same that goes for things like I've talked about before, like Kanye's music, right? A lot of people still listen to Kanye, but he said some pretty horrible stuff, you know, in the past couple of years, right? And people still listen to his music because they like his music. They just don't like Kanye, and they're still technically giving him money and technically kind of doing that by streaming his stuff. But, you know, obviously some people don't care. They like the music, right? The same that can be for stuff like Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, yeah, a lot of people saying he's having a he's having a meltdown over this in response to Vinted kind of crushing out about the FaZe Connect stuff, which I think is pretty crazy. It seems like a lot of people are trying to hop on and go after FaZe Connect over this, and that seems like the main kind of response from a lot of people that are looking to kind of gain some kind of negative you know, attention to someone or something, is that this is mainly directed towards FaZe Connect as a group, and they're trying to kind of go after them, which I think obviously sucks. And obviously FaZe Connect seem to be doing a lot of kind of work to kind of, I guess, quell this and just kind of move on and go forwards, because again, it has provided them with a little bit of I guess heat, right, from some people, like for example Binted, that is going crazy over this kind of stuff. And yeah, hopefully they will just move on, and yeah, that will essentially be it, right? And I mean, that is essentially all there is for this entire update. I just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date with everything that was going on, because again, it has been a pretty crazy situation overall. But yeah, it seems like the tweet is now deleted, and it seems like there probably won't be any kind of you know, talk about this moving forward, at least from the FaZe Connect members. So yeah, obviously if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.